Hello and welcome. My name is Lloyd Summers from Red Iron Labs, and today I wanted to do a 360 unboxing. So a company that I met at JDC a couple years ago sent us a very interesting solution to the locomotion problem, and it's called 3DRudder. So I haven't opened this yet, but I thought it might be a good chance for us to test out the Gear 360 a little bit more, and open it up and see what we got. So I haven't opened this yet. This is going to be new, but we'll see what we got. So my understanding from, now keep in mind it was a couple of years ago that I met with these guys. They were very friendly. One of the few companies had a busy trade show that really took the time to talk and kind of give me an idea of what their vision was and what they're looking into. One of the things they were looking into was locomotion, especially for systems where you don't quite have room control systems in place, things of that nature. And at the time, back then, I mean, it was so long ago that room control was an idea, but not really something that was quite out there in VR yet. So they came around pretty early on into the industry. Anyways, they've been getting more and more traction looking at PlayStation VR and a couple other things like that as a locomotion solution that's a little bit easier for consumers. And from what I remember, it was something where you put your feet on it and kind of control locomotion, which is very interesting, especially if you use things like OSVR and other solutions that are head-based with no real locomotion option. Something like this might be the only solution outside of using a gamepad. So I spoke with them a little while ago to see kind of where they're at and how things are doing, and they sent me a development kit to see what we could do. So some of the work we do is in games for sure, but some of the work we do works with other clients and other areas as well. And some of them do have limited motion. It's quite common, as well as the individuals using the equipment. Sometimes they may have other things going on in their lives and who they are that prevents them from using traditional locomotion. So we always like to see kind of what's new and interesting. So when I reached out to them, they sent us a dev kit to take a look at and to start integrating into some of our solutions. So today is the day we're going to open this. Okay. So first things first, I'm not selling their stuff. I'm not able to make money off their sales or anything like that. But they did send me a free one to work with, and they're offering this to other developers too, so certainly we're not the only ones. But it was a really nice gesture to help us kind of get started and add some support. So, probably hard to see, but basically it does 360 degrees, up and down, all around movement. Compatibility is Windows PC, USB Type A. So, feels good. Quality's great. It looks super professional. When I was pricing them out for a client that kind of needed this type of solution, I think their price was 100 and something, 170 maybe US, something in that area, which is quite affordable. To put this into context, the treadmill solutions, which is kind of the only other solution for that type of locomotion, they can run in the 5,000 and up. There's a couple no-name ones that I've seen out of AliExpress in China. I've never tried the no-name ones, but they run at least 600 to 700, and those ones are pretty cheap plastic. I don't know that they would hold a normal-sized person, maybe a kid. So something being in the $180, $170 market certainly seems like something interesting. That said, I'm not a business guy. I'm the tech guy, so what do I know? But I have to say it's a very attractive looking package, which is kind of nice. So, and it says in there, it's in English and French, which is nice because we're Canadian. Foot-powered VR gaming motion controller. Okay. So let's take a look inside. It feels like a good build quality, and I think I understand what this thing does. And the idea is that you can separate your hands from your motion. So in the HTC Vive, even with room control, you still got to kind of push some buttons and distract your controllers dealing with teleportation a little bit. I like teleportation. It's one of the few mechanics that came out that works really well, I find. But there's constraints and issues you need to be aware of. One of those is, of course, you know, people tripping over their cables and things like that. So with locomotion solutions we have today, there's kind of a lot of tripping over yourself, so things to watch out for. But hopefully, for some of the simpler stuff, especially vehicle-based things, we're working on some interesting games on the side that I feel like could be a really good fit. Some tank-type work, where one person drives and another person uses the turret. So, very nice packaging. I love this. Both Acer and Asus do this, which I love, which is kind of a play on the old... Apple did this too, where they have that kind of fancy, really nicely made kind of packaging for everything. And right away it says, here's how to get started and how to get on board. Something we'll look into and play with. The branding and theming is still all spot on, which is nice. Okay, so the device itself, I can feel it has a little bit of pressure movement. Okay, so it has a rocking. So it's probably got a sensor for motion and position. And works great on a carpet. That's really stable. And again, everything looks really nice. Looks high quality. It's got good rubber on the bottom, which would be great so that you don't kind of do any wear or tear on either your property or the device itself. It's got its compliance specs, and it's driven over USB 2. So pretty hard to argue with that. That's all pretty good stuff. Tells you right on there, don't stand on it. And what it looks like to me is kind of similar to a 3D mouse, which is where you can go up. You can pull out to go up, push in, go down, left, right, turn to get that 360 motion. This seems to have kind of oh, that's straight, feels a little strange, a similar thing where it's going to use that motion to kind of control and manipulate what it does. So that's the unboxing. And I think because it's not battery powered, it doesn't need to be. Because if you have a headset plugged in, you can probably plug in one of these pretty easily. Still, it is very, very cool. Very simple. Hard to complain. You have one cable to plug in, nothing to lose. So yeah, that's really it for us. So I won't know until I get some time to kind of work with it, but I took a look at their SDK. It looks pretty straightforward, which is kind of cool. So low effort stuff is nice when you're busy. And especially these days, there's so many different solutions and software kits for VR that trying to stay on top of it all can be really time consuming, and their documentation looked clean and easy to integrate. So that's really it for the unboxing. Just wanted to kind of capture this on video so that we could, like I said, experiment with the 360 camera a little bit, as well as see kind of what's going on. So in the packaging, some of the stuff it says is simple to set up, only takes a few seconds, just plug and play, which is, we can confirm that it's a true statement. It looks like it's pretty simple to work with. It does show, again, the motion and movements on here are very, very similar to a 360 mouse, which I also highly recommend, by the way, if you do a lot of modeling and 3D work. It makes it really easy to kind of fly through a scene and work on stuff. So I'm kind of hoping to see a similar thing with this, and it will be interesting to see if there's a potential for a bleed over between the two, just in terms of our own stuff to kind of mess around internally and see what we can do, because that gives us two complete controller sets operating independent with the mouse still available. That's kind of cool. So it plays well with PC systems, games, which is us, hand controllers, Oculus Rift, and HTC Vive. So Oculus Rift we'll take another look at, as we did get into the Oculus Start program. So we do have some Oculus gear coming, and that's pretty cool. So it's customizable, dial in to suit your style. I remember it does have configuration options for increasing and decreasing sensitivity. And they said it's been well tested and well designed, and I can confirm that the plastics and rubbers are all quite well made. So that's really it. The weight is about just under 4 pounds, or just under 2 kilograms if you're Canadian. Dimensions, I guess I could share this all in the description, but almost 13.5 inches by almost 3 inches, which is kind of what you see here. And yeah, looks like Windows only, but that's fine because VR these days really is pretty much Windows only. So there you go. That is the 3DRudder. Pretty cool. So yeah, I wonder if that pops off. Nope. Alright, so thank you very much, and thank you for coming to visit our little channel and saying hello. If you have any questions on this, if you want to see what works or what doesn't, or get a bit more information, find out a bit more about the company, look below, or leave us a comment, and I'd be happy to give you my feedback. Thank you very much, and have a good day.